Okay, now we have 279 North Street. So I think everybody knows the situation, so why don't we let Bernie go first, and then you guys can respond.
I'd rather go first because we did make some changes and based on some suggestions, I'm aware of the changes. Yeah. And I don't think that the association is aware of the changes they made.
Okay, do you mind? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Daniel Toscano. I'm an attorney at law from Drago Toscano, located at 15 Broad Street, Boston, Mass. I'm here representing the Prince, Michael Prinn and Petey Prinn. Have combined residency in the neighborhood for about 35 years. They live here in the neighborhood with their 3 young children, and they recently purchased in January at 279 North Street, which is at the corner of North Street and Fleet Street, plus the 4 empty parcel, 4 parking spaces. What we like to do right now is a 5-family residential dwelling. However, it's actually legally a 4. We want to change the occupancy to a 3-family residential dwelling. We want to expand some living space, add a 1-story addition. The current height of the building is 37 feet. We want to add 10 feet to 47 feet high, and we want to create some living space into the basement, which will mainly be used for storage. And with this, as everybody saw the PowerPoint the last 2 months, there's some space that they're looking at the building. There's about a 3-foot space in between 279 North Street and 277 North Street. We're going to fill in that space and make some extra living space. So at the last meeting, we had 2 abutters. One was at 57 Fleet Street, had the second unit, number 2. We had a top patio, and we're working some issues out with him, Jake Gunnerman. I don't see Jake here today, but we did work out over the last month, since the last meeting. The Prince have met with Jake several times. We've worked out an agreement. I don't, I did discuss with Jake whether it would be confidential. However, if he wanted to go up in 1-story addition, we would support him and he would support us. So
You signed an agreement.
We signed an agreement. We signed an agreement today. So there's a signed agreement. Terms are all in there that he would support our project and we would support his project if should he decide to go up. So Jake is in support of the project. I know my client, the Prince, has also been working with Mr. Sapienza in terms of trying to work out some of the issues that he had in regards to views, height, sun. One of the suggestions that he had is that, if you all remember, we had a floor back terrace that abutted Jake Gutterman's roof deck. The suggestion was, can we move our property back and do a front terrace, and so we can come off of North Street. So we did flip that back terrace, so we set our building back towards to the back of our property line, and we have a front terrace that overlooks North Street, and it's set back from the Fleet Street, North Street point, 9 feet 6 inches. And since the street angles a little bit, North Street, when you get to 277 North Street, it's set back 7 feet 2 inches. So we're set back by it so we can eliminate any possible line of sight infringement on Mr. Sapienza's view. There was 2 other issues, whether in regards to the railings. We're going to continue to work with design review. We're going to have to go to the BPTA design review process. They will dictate in terms of the railings, but right now we do like the solid railings. We have 3 young children. That were more of a safety issue for them. And the other one, whether we could come down in height a little bit more. So the 10-foot addition, we spoke with the contractor, and the contractor needs more than a foot in order to do some work. So we're really at our max height on that. So we couldn't come down any lower than the 47 feet high, but we are still lower than, as everybody remembers, as 277 North Street, which is next to us. That's probably a 55-foot building. So we're below that. With all that said, that's an update as to what we've done.
Thank you. Any questions?
Letters?
Bernie, you're up.
Just a comment. Victor does a tremendous job of writing the letters that go to the Board of Appeal. And I'm sure he will list the commitments that you've made tonight. At least I hope he will. Victor?
Will you draft it?
Together. Yeah, we'll do it together. But I'm not co-chair.
You're up.
we'll get back with it. Anyone has any questions, comments, we'll, oh, you should, like to read it. Oh, you can read it?
Hi, everybody. My name is Bernie Sapienza. I live at 50 Fleet Street, right across the street here. As you heard, I did have a PowerPoint presentation. We have a technological problem. We're not going to get the projector to work, so I can't show you some of the pretty pictures. I'll try to hold them up for you if I can. Maybe you can see them. But as Mr. Toscano just told you, there has been some progress in the fact that we have talked with the Prince. We have asked for three different modifications. One that has already been shown to us is this flipping of the deck from the front, from the back of the building to the front of the building. We still have two other problems that create a height issue, and that height issue is creating for us, it's creating potentially a light, air, and space and views issue for us, which leads to evaluation. I don't know if you can see this picture, but in this picture is Jake Gutterman, who's holding a 13.5-foot pole. We took some science here, and we tried to figure out what does 13.5 feet look like when you go ahead and add that to this building, right? Because obviously we know if you're looking at the building side by side with the one next to it, and we've been told many times, Mr. Toscano, that they're not even going up to the 55 feet or the building next to it. You just heard him tell you that it's 47 feet. It's almost true, right? Because they're adding 3.5 feet of parapet, so it's really kind of closer to 51 feet of height with the parapet. And that difference is quite a difference, because if you look carefully at this picture, you'll see where the red line is drawn. That's the top of the pole. From our viewing angle, it's taller than the building next to it, because it's viewing angles. Anybody who lives around here knows that that is viewing angles, which is different than the actual height. And if I go down one floor to my neighbor's unit, you'll see that the building behind completely disappears. You can see the red line of where that 13.5-foot pole is once we get beyond the one floor down. So a number of the units would be negatively impacted. And all we're asking for is to limit the amount of impact that we'd be getting. And so what we've asked for is that instead of using this parapet design that makes their wall 13.5 feet, but by the way, this is our building, and that's me in the window there. And this is kind of what it looks like had they gone forward with the original design, right? This is how it changes.
Is that from your window?
That's from my window, from PH2. It's at the top. You can see that here. This is what how the view changes. And you can see here, if you go down one floor, you can see how that changes yet again by going down a floor. And of course, we lose some night views as well. But they have reversed their design. And with that, I'm speeding through this, I'm sorry. But with that reverse design, it changes quite a bit. And what I did is I added a rail there to the top of what that would look like if you took it down 3.5 more feet or 4 more feet or so. You can see why that changes the design. Yep, I will be glad to do that. So that's what we think would change it. And they have gone ahead and changed the front deck from the back deck, so you can see what the corner looks like. Okay. Don't know if everybody can see this or not. Yeah. So we think that the progress is being made, and we think that that this flipping of the deck, we think, is also a huge benefit for the Prince. I think in the design, I have a west-facing deck. I'm about 50 feet away from them, and a west-facing deck, as you all know, gets quite a bit of sunlight. That's how it changes. So that this is what it was before, the design we had before. This would be what the new design would be like that we asked for. And what we asked for still allows them to add nearly 1,000 square feet of living space, which is really, for anybody who lives in the North End, you know what the average price per square foot is in the North End. So adding 1,000 square feet of living space, which is this floor that they're asking to add, is quite a bit of valuation of the property. And adding a roof deck that has harbor views is also quite a bit of valuation to this property. All we're asking for is to use a typical design that we all see in the North End, and that's just a typical railed fencing type of roof deck that we all have, that I have, that all my neighbors have. And that would take away the additional 3.5 feet that we've been talking about, and anything that can do to lower the ceiling height. The building right now has 8-foot ceilings from the design being a turn of the century building, from what I understand. The top floor they're adding would add about 10 feet. So anything they can do to squeeze a couple of inches out of that would be also helpful. That's all we're really asking for. And like I said, we have made some progress with the Friends, and we're hoping, and like I said, we're very happy to have them moving in and renovating this building. We're very happy for them to have their 1,000 square feet of living space and get harbor views from their, gigantic, this will be a 500 square foot deck on the roof deck. So this is really quite a gain for the Friends. I think they'll have a great property, and that's great. We're happy about that, but we would like to see if we can't get this just a few more feet lower.
So what are you asking?
We're asking for them to take the design that currently has the parapet roof deck wall and change that into a typical roof deck fence.
What are you asking us?
We're asking you, right now at the moment, based on what we have for a design, we're asking you to vote no.
Thank you.
You want to respond?
Well, in regard to the railings, we did at the last meeting, as you may recall, we did set that back roughly 3 feet, 3.5 feet from Fleet Street area. So it is set back a little bit. We will, like I said, we will work with design review is going to dictate probably our railings and really the exterior of the property. So we're going to have to go through a design review, and we are open to any issues that will raise at design review, and we'll work with the plans examiner at design review. As of right now, we made the most significant change as we flipped the back terrace to the front, so we won't impact any angle of view going out towards the city views in North Street. And we set that back, like I said, 9 feet 6 inches, and as you get a little closer to North Street because of the angle. With coming down a little, like I said, there's not much I can say. I spoke with the contractor about coming down a little bit. It's a 10-foot addition. We asked him if there was any room to come down. There's really not much because he said he needs more than a foot. So I'm no general contractor, so whatever they put in between the ceiling and the roof, so he needs more. So in reality, we're probably talking about an 8+ ceiling, a 9-foot ceiling. So I don't know if we could come down. If we could have, we would have. We made a major concession by flipping the addition. And we'll work with design review, and we'll work with our neighbors through design review with the plans examiners.
Yeah, what's debatable, Counselor, is that the flipping of the deck from the back to the front, whether that's a disadvantage or an advantage to the Friends, you could argue that it's an advantage to the Friends. It's an argument about either way, because the front of the building will get you sunlight, it'll get you views of the city, views of the harbor, it'll get you a nice spot by flipping it. So it's debatable as to whether or not this was a huge sacrifice making the flip. It might be considered a favor, in fact. However, we're talking.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Based on your suggestion,
Right.
wanted a
Exactly.
patio.
So what isn't the big deal is the fact that the entire neighborhood, I stand up on my roof deck, which just has the regular typical rails, like everybody else, and I look at everybody else's roof decks, and everybody's got a similar design that you can see through it. It's for light, it's for air, it's for space, it's for views. It's what we're entitled to have. And their valuation of property shouldn't be a devaluation of my property. So at the end of the day, we're asking for something very, very simple, and we're not getting it. And so that's why we're here. We came here tonight for that.
Well, we did make a
Who else is here? Who else is here?
I represent 50 Fleet Street, the entire association, and
Nobody
also I
wanted to show
represent 45 Fleet Street, which is in my presentation,
Nobody
is
else
also
wanted to show
supportive of this. Because some people can't make it to these things. They're not all
They're 0 for 3. They're 0 for 3.
But why would we need more than one? Yeah, we're representing, I have a attorney here representing 50 Fleet Street Association.
And we did have a resident of 50 Fleet Street last meeting that spoke in support of the project.
Right, on the bottom floor.
And there is
Right.
another woman, we did a sun study, does that?
The sun study was
June
completely
Associates,
inconclusive.
by a
Yes.
professional architect, June Associates, a sun study showed absolutely no impact. We did an expert did some angle of views. There's absolutely no impact, as Mr. Sapienza said. He's maybe more than 50 feet away in a higher property, and the building next to us is higher than us.
I think that was just
I just see if anybody else has any comments or
we think we
questions.
made a
Anybody
big
else here have
concession.
comments? Yes.
It sounds like a lot of the disagreement is about the height of the building, and I appreciate those thoughtful photos you had to show, what it would look like from your perspective. I guess my question is that there is a little parking lot next to their building right now. Personally, I would like to see infill, more homes, more neighbors, as opposed to parking for 4 cars. It seems to me that no matter what building is put on that parking lot, it's probably going to become a different height issue for you. Based on the photos you showed, it's closer to you. It's going to look taller regardless of what they put there. If you're opposed to it on this ground for height for them, are we going to have the same conversation down the line if there's another building going in there?
It's my understanding that the building that they have.
For me, I think it's a little bit unreasonable to say it needs to come down in height when in the future there could be a building, right next to it.
Do you live on our street?
I live on North Street, yes.
Let's let the parents respond. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to take a minute because it just seems so contentious right now. So we met with Bernie, I think not this past Monday, the Monday before. We heard his concerns. We worked really hard, really, really hard with you and with Jake. Okay, we worked hard with our architect. We offered you our architect. We offered our contractor, our architect, to come into your home and do professional photos. We offered you the light study to bring somebody else to saying, no, the light study's going to do this to our unit. You said it was very difficult for you to find professionals to help you with that. We offered our professionals, okay? Flipping the deck wasn't an easy thing, and I'll tell you why. The building has the access, the stairs, it's very hard to sort of create a solution that's safe, that provides the right access, ingress, egress. So it took a lot of hours the past couple of weeks to make the modification that you just say is just to flip the deck and that we should thank you. Okay, so we did put a lot of work into it and thought. We saw what you showed us in terms of your pictures, your view of the city. We respected that. In terms of the parapet, it is a concern. We did set the building back. We have 3 little kids. I'm very concerned about anybody, adults, kids on the roof deck. But we're going to work with the design review. We know we have to. Okay, we respect that, Bernie. We're going to do that. In terms of the height of the building, we have the right to go up to 55 feet. People in this room have come up to us and said, yes, we do. Go to the 55 feet, PD and Mike. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We talked to our contractor. They said that the ductwork, we need about 1 foot. So our ceilings are 8 feet tall, and then above that is, we're not having these 14-foot ceilings.
Yeah,
Just so everybody understands that.
Let's see if we can.
So I just want to, so you understand, we really tried to work with our abutters, our community. I've been in the North End since '99. I'm completely vested. I have 3 kids at the Elliott School. I want to clean up that area. That building needs work. And you're absolutely right. When we met with Bernie at Starbucks, we told you, look, we are facing that someone will probably purchase that parking lot and build right up next to us. And I hope that they do. That's
Anybody
the
with
reality.
any questions, comments?
Mary?
Oh, Mary. I didn't see you.
Mary Gate, Snowhill Street. I just have a comment to give a little perspective to everyone. As someone who has been through a multi-year ruling court case on a zoning matter, and I think that everyone should seriously consider settling whatever they can settle, because people need to keep in mind that even if you can get through the Board of Appeal, if an abutter appeals, and I have no idea whether one would or wouldn't hear, but if it goes to Superior Court, it can be many years. I mean, there are other people in this room who've been through this who know that that is the case. And it's horrendously expensive. I know that from personal experience. One thing that I think is important to say is that no, there is not a right in the North End to go to 55 feet. If you have the floor area ratio to go to 55 feet, you can. There, other than a very, very large building on a very large area, there are very few people who have the floor area ratio to be able to go to 55 feet. So I just would hate to see someone get in a situation where they are setting themselves up because they think that, and that is not the case. But again, if an abutter appeals, then you are really in a mess. And I know this from my personal experience. We were abutters. Our neighbor wanted to build up 2 floors. We said we would agree to 1 floor. Our neighbor did not want to resolve it with us. We did appeal to Superior Court. Ultimately, our neighbor got to build nothing. So I think I'm just sharing what I went through because I think it's important for both sides to keep that in mind because it was expensive for us as a butters, terribly expensive. And it was terribly expensive for our neighbor as well. And it created a lot of bad feeling in the neighborhood and nobody really got too much out of it in the end. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Dave,
Quick question, could you please repeat the can't hear.
can't hear you, Dave.
I'm sorry?
Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Would you please repeat the relief from the zoning code that you're seeking?
There's a couple of violations that I'll try to get them off the top of my head. There's rear yard insufficient, so in the multifamily residential sub-district, you have to be 20 feet from the back property line. We were at 10, even though we would have still been in violation, but by flipping it, we are going back to our property line. We have an FAR violation, which is the floor area ratio, which is 3, by increasing the space to the right and the one-story addition, and adding the basement space, which is really, we're going to call it living space because we are finishing the basement, but it's going to be more storage. We have 5.3. There's an open space violation, and we need 50 square feet of open space per residential unit, which is 3 units. I'm not sure why we're cited. I keep saying we were cited, but we have enough square footage or open space to satisfy that violation. Groundwater trust with our civil engineer is working with getting the plans over to Boston Water and Sewer so we can have a no harm letter to the groundwater. And
Is living space in the basement prohibited or conditional use?
it's conditional, so it's a non-conforming because because of the first floor, because this is not in I apologize to be saying multifamily residential sub-district, it's in a neighborhood shopping district, so it's a conditional use for the residential unit in the basement. But the basement is, so as I describe the basement to everybody, so as we're going to finish the basement, and the only ones who are going to have access to it are going to be the Print family. But the Print family, the basement, they're on the 3rd floor, so their unit is going to be 3rd floor, 4th floor, and 5th floor. So it's not like they're going to be using the basement. It's just for them, but it's going to be finished basement, but not a playground. It's going to be more used as storage. So that created why such an increase in the FAR, because we can just simply call it storage, and you can not calculate that into the FAR. But since we've gutted the building, we're renovating the whole building, it's nice to have a nice finished basement.
Is there also a rooftop structure?
Rooftop structure, because we're adding the one-story addition, we're changing the structure of the roof. So we're adding the one-story addition. It's a rooftop structure. It's not a height violation. It's just that we're changing the structure of the roof because we're adding the one-story addition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, one last question, and then we're gonna vote.
My question is this, because this is a 4-unit coming down to a 3-unit, and because a 3-unit is eligible for 365-day Airbnb as one of the units, we had discussed last time that there would be an agreement to put something into the wording saying specifically that you guys would not be going after that. Is it going to be that formal, and if not, why not?
It could be that formal, where there was no intention from moving it from a 4 to a 3, because we thought there would be an Airbnb. That was absolutely not the intentions of the Print family. We needed the living space of for 3 young children. We will put that in writing. I'll get you a letter tomorrow that there's no intention of doing Airbnb, as long as they own the equity stake in this the property. And I said this the last meeting. That's no problem.
I just want to point out to everyone in the room that if there is a turnover of the unit, the next unit owner would then be able to run a 365-day Airbnb in a 3-family unit. And I just think everyone should factor that in. But it would be great to get that letter. That would
Right, we'll get it to you. The Print, as I said earlier, has been here 35 years. They got 3 young children at the Elliott School, our local school. Go to the Mazzaro Center, playing sporting activities. They're investing in this neighborhood, so they're committed here. I don't think they're going to be leaving anytime soon. Thank you.
So is there a motion to vote on this, to support or not to support?
I move that the eligible members vote to support or oppose this project using ballot number 1. Is that
One.
right?
Turkey, instead of the turkey, the first one. Second,
second the motion.
thank you.
Thank you. I just want to give you the results of the vote. It's 18 in favor, 13 opposed.
Thank you, members of the board.
We will be drafting the letter. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the party. Sign up.